skies are darkening the world, you know. The hills no longer green. Like the animals, your blood will flow. Dreaming of this Christmas.
Smiling wide with empty eyes, I'll find you. You're a lot of fun, just like your friend. You're hiding, but I'm deep inside your mind. You'll die 1,000 times, do you wanna try again? You're tired of running, nowhere to hide it. I'm getting closer every second.
Behind you.
There's so many songs to play with, so little time. Not long till I find you. Run for your life. You're in my world now. You're joining your friends. I'm coming to take your soul. In the end, you can't run.
Warning, this video contains sensitive subjects that are meant for a mature audience. Viewer discretion is advised. I'll be approaching this video a little differently. In the past, I haven't had to use much of a disclaimer for videos, but this one is a little different. She is different. This is the result of the worst case scenario happening, and what I believe is the most horrifying and dark outcome of any of Ray's creations so far. Something so terrifying, a thought so horrible, it might stay with you forever. Before talking about the terrifying creature that is Bad Future, I want to give a shout out to Ray for writing all of this down and drawing all the art you will see in this video. I inflate his ego quite a bit, but I have to give credit where credit is due. These designs, the art style, and everything about this is pretty unique, so feel free to go support him. If you'd like your own childhood variant, he takes commissions, so please go send support his way. That out of the way, let's jump into something more horrifying than childhood has passed. Bad Future, otherwise known as Sweet Sweet Vanilla, is a fourth-dimensional entity that, unlike childhood and Good Future, has two alternative forms of change. A false one and a real one. What does this mean? Allow me to explain. Like Good Future, Bad Future has an angelic form. A lady shrouded in white with a calm expression. As if everything will be fine and all suffering will end soon. But do not trust her. You must not listen to a single word she says. This form is only visible to those who always listen and never doubt her. However, if you begin to distrust her, even slightly, you'll start to see her true form, her real appearance, her real intent. Like Good Future, she dwells in the subconscious, but she can appear directly in dreams. Certain requirements must be met to encounter her. She also manifests in the conscious realm through hallucinations rather than mirrors. Though certain conditions need to be met, the fact that she can appear in both the subconscious and conscious mind is terrifying. So far, she's the only one able to do this, but like the others, there are conditions that have to be met in order for her to appear. So what requirements must be met for her to appear? Being in an extremely vulnerable moment, having deep past trauma, having a comfort character, perceiving a scent that reminds you of trauma. Now, why a scent? Smell is linked to nostalgia through the hippocampus due to its direct connection with the limbic system. I'd like to quickly add that while I studied psychology, I never thought I'd be explaining neuroscience of one of my videos, let alone explaining quantum physics, physiology, and also philosophy. But honestly, that's what makes these things so terrifying. I just thought it was funny. When I do these videos, I feel like I'm doing homework, which oddly makes me nostalgic. Wait, do you guys smell that? When a scent is detected, information travels from the olfactory bulb directly to brain areas such as amygdala, emotional processing, and the hippocampus. Memory, creating a strong bond between aroma and the emotional or sensory experience. Have you ever felt memories flood back instantly upon perceiving a particular scent? Like the smell of autumn, wet earth, your favorite meal, or flowers? I know that I have, especially for rain. I absolutely love the scent of rain, and once it hits, it has to be a particularly foggy morning, or maybe it just rained, or maybe it is raining. I don't know what it is, but I think it's like partially is nostalgic for me. If you guys have a scent that makes you nostalgic, let me know down in the comments below. Kind of a weird place to put that, but I'm really helping out Bad Future here. Once you perceive the scent that brings back an unforgettable memory, her influence begins. How? Through discouraging thoughts about yourself that drive you to look in the mirror. Once there, she'll speak to you, asking for help, claiming she is trapped behind mirrors and cannot escape. She may also appear on screens as a hallucination. Why? Because it is easier for her to create a narrative where an evil being trapped her there and she needs the victim's help. She will tell you that to escape to the world beyond the stars, you must see the truth. This figure, the one you feel nostalgic for, will convince you to help her. She'll say that she knows how hard your childhood was, and that this is what you must confront for her to be free and reveal the truth about this world and the universe. Depending on your attachment to that character, you may accept. If you do, she will ask you to close your eyes and think of the scent tied to that memory, and not to worry because she will be there. The repetition compulsion is a Freudian psychoanalytic concept describing the unconscious tendency of a person to repeat painful experiences or patterns even when harmful. This impulse seeks to process unresolved trauma or conflict by recreating the original situation in an attempt to resolve it or gain control, often unsuccessfully, under the illusion that the outcome will be different. Now, childhood has passed may be an incredible manipulator, but what Sweet Sweet Vanilla does is something worse in my opinion. You'll see how bad it gets as time goes on, but I gotta be honest, I didn't know it was possible for a character to be more manipulative than childhood has passed. Obviously, there are arguments to be made about that statement, but this is something beyond cruel. But what happens when you go to the past through a trance? When entering trance, you reach the subconscious state of mind. Since this being is of the subconscious, even more hidden than Good Future, Bad Future can manipulate your memories directly without needing an artifact like childhood. When you reach the traumatic event, you relive it fully. As when traveling with childhood, you return to being a child within that distorted memory. But why is it distorted? This is where the phases begin. The first phase is denial. Like our memories, it will be inaccurate, more dramatic than it truly was. As you relive the event, you'll notice many sunflowers in the distance. And as it unfolds, you'll see familiar faces, people who were never there, mocking and clapping. All this happens as a cheerful lullaby-like tune plays in the background, completely out of place. Before you collapse, Bad Future appears, embracing you, shielding you. The victim trembles and cries, unable to believe what they see. Denial. Bad Future tells them this is exactly how things happened, convincing them that the truth was worse than remembered, that everyone else was wrong, that you don't belong in this world, that you are too good for it. Something to note is that in this phase, you wake automatically when Bad Future's clock advances. Unlike Good Future, she cannot keep you asleep. She needs you to be conscious in order to sense the scent that drew you back. While the victim is in a trance, Bad Future takes control of their body, deleting documents, contacts, IDs, anything tied to their identity and relationships. And this is where things kind of start, and you can see just how bad this is going to get. Bad Future, the more you give into this sort of fake comfort, the more that she'll take control and take things away from you. And this is only the first phase, and she's already deleting contacts and IDs and stuff like that. And she's really trying to rip you away from the things that you know, and you're not repressing into good memories, you're repressing into bad memories. Hence why I say this is so much scarier than childhood has passed. It truly is a traumatizing thought. She's also kind of manipulating you into thinking that, again, things are worse than what they were prior. She's quite literally gaslighting you into believing that things were already worse, but it doesn't stop there. Again, that's only the first phase. So the next one is phase 2. At this point, the chess clock has advanced, and the Forget-Me-Not flower has lost a petal, which I did not mention, but the forget-me-not flower is representative of how deeply you give into bad future, essentially. The victim sleeps while bad future fully enters the subconscious. The victim feels overwhelming rage, reliving the trauma again, this time armed with a sword. This is the truth, bad future whispers. What you should have done from the beginning. Now it's in your hands. Punish those who hurt you. Leave no one standing. They ruined your life. They broke you. Break them all. The flowers you saw before are now closer. Once the deed is done, bad future embraces you again. Another petal falls. Meanwhile, in reality, bad future continues erasing evidence, destroying records, cutting ties, deleting accounts, harming the body superficially, anything to isolate the victim. Anyone who has wronged you, anyone who's caused significant trauma, to fight back against those brutal memories. And thus, you're only succumbing to your anger. Phase 3, bargaining. The victim keeps returning to the same memory, trying desperately to change it, but never succeeds. Bad future now whispers of something beyond this simple world, something beautiful, where pain no longer exists. New flowers bloom. They locked me here, she says. Your bad memories, your suffering, those people hurt me. Let's go somewhere better, to a beautiful garden where you'll receive all that was promised. Isn't that wonderful? If you do what I say, you'll open your eyes. Isn't it unfair they always stand above you? Come to a higher plane, my dear. I love you. The flowers draw nearer. Another petal falls. Meanwhile, bad future takes further control, burning photos, records, anything linked to the victim, to their human life. Phase 4, depression. The memory loops again, but suddenly everything stops. Only bad future and the victim remain, surrounded by flowers, more emerging by the second. Isn't it beautiful? You and me. I love you. I don't want you to suffer anymore. I want you to rest, to stop thinking. I want what's best for you. I want your will. Give it to me. Take a break from this world. Say goodbye to this existence. Say goodbye to your life. Stop breathing. I want, you want, we want. Give your will to me, as I've given my love to you. Another petal falls. The flowers are very close now. At this point, bad future has taken the victim far from home, destroying their belongings, burning their dwelling, visiting their parents' house to erase albums, writings, traces. She knows her victims well. She knows when the house is empty. Again, absolutely horrifying. I know that we already got comments about how Vanilla's design. Say what you will, the whole point is that it takes this motherly character. There are so many reasons why this works, of which I'll get into a little bit later. But we have this motherly character who wants to take care of you in a way that you may not get in your current lifetime. Well, this being is so manipulative and so tempting. The more you give into it, the more power it gains, much like the other ones, but in this way, it feels different. Bad future, in my opinion, I'll say this a couple times, is the worst by far. This is the most sinister, evil thing I have ever seen in the EXE community, or maybe just in general. So what's the last phase? Well, you've probably already pieced it together. It's acceptance. Now there is nothing but flowers everywhere, even beneath you. Bad future holds the victim in her arms, smiling. She allows them to remain conscious within their subconscious, to finish their work. In a trance-like sleepwalking state, the victim must leave this world without a trace. As this happens, bad future sings a lullaby. If the victim resists, she takes control of the body and carries it out herself. What the victim never knew is that each flower in that garden is someone who fell to bad future. And now, a new flower has bloomed. One that no longer thinks, feels, cries, or screams. Not because it doesn't want to, but because it no longer can. I will leave it to you to interpret what happens here, but I think people could put together the dark implications with bad future. Each one of her stages represent the 5 stages of grief. each more brutally traumatizing than the last. The ultimate result is something you must never give into, and never trust this character. Though fascinating, this is a dark reflection on a struggle lots of people go through, which makes this worse. Sweet Sweet Vanilla tugs at any sort of good nature you have and manipulates you in a much different way than Childhood Has Passed. Childhood Has Passed plays at your nostalgia heavily and clings to any good that your past held, offering escapism and comfort until eventually it gets what it wants. Whereas Bad Future guilts you into what it wants and is convinced it is saving you. I know I say this every video I do about these guys, but these entities are different. I can see how this might get confusing, but just know they are not the same. Different objectives and different tactics. What's sad about Bad Future is, besides everything, is that people have encountered someone like this before. It makes it even worse that parental figures can actually be this manipulative and pull the exact same thing. It is an incredibly depressing outcome that with each phase, you're pulled deeper and deeper into the comfort of something truly sinister. It disguises itself as a good thing and promises to set you free and give you something you've longed for. Its goal isn't to romanticize the loss of life, but to show a depressive struggle you're weak to. It says that it cares for you, that it loves you and wants to give you comfort, but it lies. With its smooth words cut a razor through your heart, it pretends to act like it loves. It cannot. It pretends to cry. It is not capable. It pretends to feel. It cannot. In its design, in both phases, the clock is a coffin and emphasizes the idea of flowers on your grave. The design tells you everything you need to know about its intentions and where it wants you to go and do. While you can fight back and realize this thing for what it truly is, it's persistent in its goal. So much so that it uses both Childhood Has Passed and Good Future to its advantage. That's right, you can actually have an interaction with all three of these entities at once. How does this work? What happens? Guess you'll just have to watch the next video when it comes out. There's actually quite a lot more to know about Bad Future, but its interactions with Good Future and Childhood Have Passed shows its cunning and nasty nature to its full extent. Next time, we'll learn how these fourth-dimensional beings interact with each other and which path you take will decide your future. Thanks again to Ray. Go show support to him. I always have fun reading these and learning quantum physics, which will also be talked about in the next video. This world only gets more and more horrifying with each creation. I know my Whisper of Soul video is one people were anticipating, but it's taking me longer than I want, so please bear with me. Hopefully you guys have a happy and spooky Halloween this year, and that you don't encounter any fourth dimensional beings who want to manipulate you. If you do, good luck. Thank you guys so much for watching. It truly means a lot to me as we sneak up on 100K. I'm extremely grateful I get to do this, and hopefully I get to continue making content. And hey, if you want to see more Tonkatchi content, I actually have a second channel where I've been posting more stuff recently. Alright, that's enough from me. Subscribe, and remember, stay spooky.